Hey guys, welcome to ACIB and the first economics video on this channel. We'll be making our way through the entire IB economics syllabus starting from chapter 1, which is the foundations of economics. Just keep in mind I'll be skipping over most of the content from chapter 1 just because I don't think it's as necessary to your understanding of the course, or most of it's pretty self-explanatory. But there is some stuff I do want to cover from chapter 1 just because I think it's pretty important, so we'll be doing that in this video. So today we'll be discussing the factors of production and the PPC curve. So a factor of production is like an input. It's a resource. It's the things that we need in order to produce the goods and services that we want. The factors of production are classified into 4 broad categories. The first category is land, or as IB likes to call them, the gifts of nature. So land is basically your natural resources. Examples include literal land, forests, oil that you find underground, minerals, rivers, lakes, etc. Your second category is labor, or human capital. Labor is all efforts of the workforce. Either physical or mental efforts are classified under labor. So for example, it could be a teacher teaching their students, it could be an attorney defending their client, it could be a farmer growing their crops. And the third one is capital, which is defined as man-made factors of production. These are your things like machinery, they're your tools, they're your factories, your airports, roads, etc. Anything that is made by humans and helps make future things is going to be classified under capital. And your last category is called entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the human skill of management and organization. So, entrepreneurship is responsible for organizing the other 3 factors of production so they could all work cohesively and make the goods and services that we want. And it's also responsible for taking risks that lead to future success or failure. As a quick side note, money is not a factor of production because it isn't directly involved in the process of production. It only pays for the other factors of production. So money itself is not a factor of production. Okay, so now moving on to the PPC curve, or the production possibilities curve. The PPC is an economic model. It's one of many economic models, and with any model comes many assumptions. And the main one for the PPC curve is that the economy only produces 2 goods. So in this case, the economy produces computers or microwave ovens, and it doesn't produce anything else. So PPC curve is a model that shows all production possibilities in an economy. And what a production possibility is any point on the curve itself. So A, B, C, D, or E in our case. And what's important to realize about a production possibility is that it's only possible if the economy is at full employment of resources and at maximum efficiency. So that means every single worker is productive. It means that no resources are wasted, etc., etc. So when that is the case, we can produce at a point on the PPC. We can choose to produce 0 computers and 40 microwave ovens. We can produce 33 computers and 0 microwave ovens. We can produce 25 and 25 of each. So only when the economy is maximum efficiency we can produce on the curve. But realistically, that's never going to be the case, right? Always some workers are not going to be very efficient. There will always be some waste of resources. So in the real world, we're going to be producing more at a point like F. We're going to be producing within the curve. So there are some important economic concepts that are illustrated by the PPC. Some of these link back to the 9 key economic concepts, so if you want a video going over those in more detail, you can leave a comment. So the first concept illustrated by the PPC is scarcity. Now scarcity refers to our finite resources, right? We cannot produce at point G, for example, because we simply don't have enough resources. Even if we are at maximum efficiency, it's going to be impossible. Okay, now the second concept is choice. Because we cannot produce an infinite number of everything, we're going to have to make a choice of how much of what to produce. So in this case, we're going to have to make a decision. Do we want more microwave ovens than computers? Do we want more computers than microwave ovens? Which is it that we really need more of? And the third concept that directly follows choice is going to be your opportunity cost. Now, opportunity cost is defined as the value of the next best alternative. It's a direct result of your choice. It's a direct consequence. So the opportunity cost of moving between points, let's say C and D, must be considered. In this case, the opportunity cost of going from C to D is going to be a significant reduction in your number of microwave ovens. It looks like you're approximately going to get 10 less microwave ovens for around 7 more computers. So your opportunity cost from going to C to D will be 10 less microwave ovens. And your fourth concept is called economic growth. Now, economic growth is going to be an increase in quantity of output. So there's 2 types of growth you can talk about when it comes to the PPC. One is going to be actual growth. And actual growth is a result of a reduction in unemployment and an increase in efficiency. So what that would look like on the PPC would be, let's say, going from current point F to maybe this point G, to the next point G. So all of a sudden we're producing more microwave ovens and more computers, and this can only happen if there's going to be a better use of our resources. There's going to be an increase in efficiency and employment is reduced. And the second type of growth that we can talk about is growth in production possibilities. So growth in production possibilities is an increase in your quantity of resources and improvements in quality and technology. Quality and technology. So what that looks like on the PPC is an enlargement of the curve. So if the curve shifts outwards, like this, that illustrates a growth in production possibilities. Now, an important thing to distinguish here is that even though you have a growth in production possibilities, that doesn't necessarily mean you have actual growth. Like, for example, if we found more land, if we had an increase in our quantity of resources, our PPC curve would increase. There would be growth in production possibilities. But if we do not effectively do anything with that extra land, if we do not make use of those extra resources, we're not actually going to move anywhere. We're not going to have any actual growth. We'll just stay at point F. So that's it for this video. We talked about the factors of production and the PPC curve. The next video will be talking about microeconomics and the forces of supply and demand in a competitive market. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe, or don't. I don't really care, and I'll see you in the next one.